All the drivers get off to a really good start for this GT2 GT4 multi-class race at Silverstone, with Ronaldo Ruffo in the 222 Maserati taking the lead into turn 1. Galbinski and Ely following close behind, the Mercedes sizing up a move, but not able to make one just yet. Coming through Maggots and Beckett's, the Maserati holds better downforce and is able to take the corners considerably quicker. Meanwhile, Harry Goswell gets involved into an incident a little bit further back. As a KTM spins and slows down multiple cars, Harry ends up getting collected in the incident, an unfortunate way to start off the race for ACM's head steward in the number 8 Mercedes AMG GT4. Meanwhile, Ruffo continued with their fantastic start, able to escape from the rest of the pack that was crashing behind. Galbinski continued to follow in the Mercedes AMG GT2, which was able to make significant advances on the straights due to the incredible straight-line speed of that GT2 machine. However, Ruffo proved that where the Maserati excelled was in the corners, able to come through Stowe, still ahead of the AMG GT2, which aimed for a move around the outside coming into the chicane, but wasn't able to make anything of it, attempting for a cutback midway through. Looking further back, Van der Weege had been passed by the Ferrari challenge of El Camuni, who had passed earlier on as Camuni had crashed during Maggots and Beckett's at the start of the race. Van der Weege in the GT4 was made light work of as El Camuni made their way right past in the Ferrari challenge. Meanwhile, another fight that would brew during the race were the two Chevrolet Camaro GT4s of Eric Dreyer and Yusebi. Dreyer aimed for a cutback on what would be the final corner in F1, the two Camaros going side by side. Yusebi was able to get a better exit out of the corner, meaning Dreyer had to pull in behind, and for this section have to follow Yusebi through, having to suffer from the effects of the dirty air. Meanwhile, de Klerk made their way back through the field after crashing earlier, having to make a move on both Dreyer and Yusebi. Coming into the final left-hand corner in the final section, de Klerk made a big dive on both the Camaros, able to make their way through in the KTM GT2, who was trying to fight his way back to the rest of the GT2 pack. De Klerk and the number 469 car, both in the KTMs, found themselves towards the back of the GT2 pack, and mostly fighting throughout the rest of the race. De Klerk made a very, very big move up the inside of Dwinslager, being able to make that move before the final couple of corners. A very well executed move from the number 92 KTM GT2. El Camuni in the Ferrari 488 Challenge Evo was also attempting to chase down this struggling number 469 KTM GT2. As the Ferrari Challenge is a bit different and a little bit older than some of the GT2 machines, it was able to catch up in the corners, despite the KTM's fantastic cornering prowess. Dwinslager seemed to pull off to one side and allow El Camuni to get through. Meanwhile, one fight that continued to brew was at the front, between the 222 car of Ruffo and Galbinski's Mercedes AMG. With the straight-line speed of the AMG GT2, it was only going to be a matter of time before the overtake was made. Before Stowe, the overtake looked certain, but Ruffo held the inside line, the two going side by side. Ruffo ended up getting a better exit, being able to be ahead in the chicane. While Galbinski aimed to try and make an overtake into the chicane, nothing came of it, and coming onto lap 4, the fight heated up at the front even more as the Mercedes AMG GT2 and the Maserati up front continued their battle for the lead. The Mercedes moved to the outside, as Ruffo seemed to give up the position after believing that they had done an unsportsmanlike move earlier, a very, very respectful move from the 222 car. Meanwhile, de Klerk and El Kamouni fought for their positions further down the grid. The Ferrari Challenge and the KTM GT2 car both going side by side through Maggots and Beckett in an attempt to make a fight. However, El Kamouni was able to get ahead before the twisty section of the track. This meant neither of the drivers were really slowed down. De Klerk got into a little bit of a slide, was able to correct themselves before any nasty things could happen. The KTM stuck behind the Ferrari Challenge. Another KTM driver of Doenslager continued to drive the number 469 KTM GT2. Coming through the chicane, de Klerk had some sort of incident, sending them off the line, perhaps a spin which we couldn't catch on camera, and on lap 13 the number 469 retook 7th place, going slightly off track. This fight would continue at the end of lap 13, as coming onto the final straight of the GT layout, the two KTMs were bumper to bumper. De Klerk was able to get tighter on the exit, the two KTMs going side by side into the long left-hander, with de Klerk managing to keep the inside line and make the move on the number 469 KTM GT2, with the inside very cleverly defended by the number 92 car. This fight would continue, as on lap 19, while navigating passing traffic, the number 469 car had made their way past. De Klerk made a move up the inside at Stowe, the two KTMs going side by side, but ultimately it was de Klerk that was able to win on this little battle here on lap 19, still navigating through lap traffic. Despite getting into a slide, de Klerk was able to hold P7 for slightly longer. Meanwhile, Dreo and Yuzabi, further back in the field on lap 19, had another little bit of a fight, the two going side by side through the long left-hander in the final section of track. The two Camaros looking fantastic out there as they continued their battle. Dreo and Yuzabi have been at a similar pace all season and are looking to continue their friendly rivalry, as the two are known to be good friends both on and off the track. Rufo and Kelly also had a battle, as onto the hangar straight, Kelly continued to approach towards the back of the Italian driver. However, it was, in the end, Galbinski, the number 7 AMG, that took the race lead, slowing down coming through the final corner on the 22nd lap of the race. My assumption was that they slowed down so that they didn't have to do an extra lap, and finished on the 22nd lap of the race in P1, with a substantial gap to Rufo behind, Kelly finishing up the podium positions. Welcome to ACC Career Mode by ACM Racing. ACC Career Mode is back and better than ever, with a 3-month-long series containing over 50 races with mixed formats and challenges. Team up with friends to manage your finances, car performance and sponsor contracts, or go solo and manage your favourite car across the whole season, utilising the daily, weekly and monthly challenges to add some spice to your online racing. The best thing? You decide your career, with 7 different paths to choose from. Minimum effort is no effort. ACC Career Mode Quarter 1 contains 5 races a week, all stewarded and commentated live, with a range of formats from 4 to 12 hour endurance races to 25-minute sprints. The full race calendar is available at acm-racing.com, with individual race sign-up taking place on SimGrid. Only available on Assetto Corsa Competizione PC European-based league.